How you guys doing? Rooster here again with another video. Today is a really important day for me. We had a chance to interview CEO of PlaySafe ID. PlaySafe ID is a company that started working on stopping cheaters to playing with legit players. So basically, you go to their platform, you verify yourself, you sign up, and then after the verification process, what game they support, you can play that game in a server that you only see people that also have verified by PlaySafe ID. So everyone plays legit and it's a fair game. It's a really good company and they are working really hard to make that happen with all the games. And today we asked the CEO of the company all the important questions that you guys asked me in the Discord server and other Discord server that I've been talking to people. So without wasting any time, let's go for the interview. Okay. The question line we're gonna start with is: can you explain what PlaySafe as a company is currently focused on? What are you and your team working on right now, day to day?
For sure. So our number one priority at the moment is to basically do the integrations that we're currently doing, right? Our mission that we're working towards is to make sure that all games are as fair, fun, and safe for everyone as possible. So it doesn't matter if you're a casual player, if you're a hardcore, it doesn't matter if you're 12 years old or 80 years old. You know, there's an expectation that when you jump on and play a game, that it's not going to be bullshit, right?
Yeah,
That you're going to be able to have a fair time, because if it's not fair, it can't be fun. And unfortunately, that's the
yeah,
problem that we have today.
exactly.
So everything that we're working towards at the moment is towards this mission. Um, we've got the V2 of the platform done now. The workflows are all great. It looks pretty. It's nice to use. It's very easy to do the first verification, and once you've done that, you don't need to verify again. We create your PlaySafe ID. Our docs are done. Our APIs are done. All of our endpoints are done. Yeah, it's really just now doing these first integrations at a larger scale, and yeah, hopefully proving out the concept that players who have less bullshit in their games have more fun,
Yeah,
play longer, have a better time.
hopefully. All right. This is wonderful. Let's go to the second question. What's the ultimate goal you're working toward with PlaySafe, both for the company and for the gaming world overall?
I want It's really a bet, okay? It's
Yeah,
really a theory, a thesis that I have, which is I want to be able to jump on and play any game that I love. And
yeah,
I want to be able to know that I'm only playing with legit people. I want this for
exactly.
me, I want this for my friends, and I want this for everyone else. So that's the first kind of like ultimate goal is I would love for this to become an industry standard. I would love to live in a world that every single game that comes out has PlaySafe ID as an environment that can be played in. It has PlaySafe protected matchmaking as standard, and you can just go on, you can play whether you're playing standard or ranked or with mates or solo, and you just know it's going to be a fair time. My maybe ultimate goal one day for the future was the I would love for a world where there couldn't be scams, where there couldn't be bot accounts, just generally. I think it would be really cool if there would be a version of gaming, or maybe even a version of social media where everyone's real and they're accountable, right? Like they can't just
Yeah,
create a new account and carry on scamming people. They can't create a new account and run new bot scripts to try and fish people or scams and fraud and stuff like that. So that's a pipe dream. I don't know whether we'll ever get to that, but my ultimate day one mission is games as fair, fun, and safe for everyone.
hopefully we will see that. This is actually is wonderful because in internet everyone are free and they can do whatever they want and it's a big problem. But when you know in a social platform or gaming that everyone are real and legit, it actually feels good.
I can't agree more. One of the big things for me, right, this is maybe a bit left of field, but there's actually a lot of young men in particular who are committing suicide because of sextortion gangs. So these are people who pretend to be young girls and basically honey trap these guys into sending sexually explicit images. And then they blackmail them. And they're like, if you don't pay me, we're going to send this to your friends and family. And they kill themselves. And this happens every single day. So this is one thing in particular that I'm actually quite passionate about. It would be great to
Yeah.
stop that. If everyone was legitimate, if you couldn't have fake accounts, you couldn't do this behavior. There'd be so many people that wouldn't be scarred, wouldn't be blackmailed, and unfortunately, they're taking their lives because of this behavior. How many people would be alive and have a fruitful life and contribute to society if it wasn't for this sort of thing? So it's very left of field. It's not our primary focus. It's something that if we conquer the gaming world and we're an industry standard and hundreds of millions of gamers have a PlaySafe ID, I would love to then look to extend to solve problems like this, real meaningful problems that actually really matter and are tragic. It'd be great to solve that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. To be honest, we have the same issue sometime in gamings. For example, there is a child that played with you in a match, and you just open your voice because he's not really good as you expect, and you start saying bad words toward the kid. It's actually a really bad move because they are a child, and it's a big damage on the mental health for a child, in my
100%. So
opinion.
there's actually a piece of law that's coming into effect, or it's being regulated as of the 25th of July. So in just a week, it's called the Online Safety Act. Now it affects it affects companies globally, but it only affects players and users in the United Kingdom. And basically, what it means is if a user in the United Kingdom is connecting to your game, you have to like age verify them now, and it's by highly effective age assurance. And you can't just say I'm 18 or I'm over 18 or enter your date of birth.
Yeah,
You actually have to prove your age to some degree now. And this is exactly for the reason that you just mentioned. The whole purpose of the Online Safety Act is to protect children from illegal content and content that's harmful to children. So it's not about stopping adults being toxic or saying whatever. It's about just making sure that children are protected from that type of harmful content. So yeah, well spotted on your part. You're 100% right.
yeah. All right, let's talk about general vision and background. What inspired the creation of PlaySafe IT, and what gap in the gaming world are you trying to fill?
So I can kind of answer both of these in one go, right? So accountability is the gap we're looking to fill because there's loads of anti-cheat, right? And anti-cheat gets a really bad reputation. People say it doesn't work and it's crap and whatever. It works. Most of the time, it works really well. The problem is there's two parts. First of all, what do you do when you catch someone? Do you ban them instantly? In which case, you're signaling to cheat developers what it was basically that got them detected. That's a bad
Yeah,
move because you're banning the cheater instantly, but you're actually making it easier for game developers to update their cheats and become undetectable again. So game developers use ban waves, which is the best solution they have, but it's terrible because it means you have all of these detected
yeah,
cheaters that are playing and allowed to play because they're going to wrap them up in a 3-month ban wave or a 6-month ban wave. It's a terrible player experience, but it's the best solution that developers have. The problem is game developers can create a new account, try their cheat out. Oh, it got detected. Patch it. Try it out with a new account. Try it out with a new account. Repeat, repeat, repeat. They have an unlimited number of lives to
yeah,
basically just keep iterating. And also on the end user, like the actual regular people who are paying for cheats and stuff, it doesn't matter if they get caught because they just grab a new account and come straight back in. So that was really sort of like my inspiration for this is me and my friends, everything that we played was just riddled with cheaters, and we were just so fed up. And they made a joke to me, which was, you work in like gaming and startups and stuff, fix cheating for us." I just laughed. I was just like, "Yeah, okay, hold my beer. I'll just go
yeah,
do that. That seems like a really easy thing to solve." But I really started to think about the problem, and it was the accountability that was missing. Anti-cheat, for the most part, does a really good job. Developers really hate cheating. They really do. There's no developer that I've come across to date that allows cheating or encourages it. They're all against it. But they all say, we don't have any more weapons left. We're doing
yeah,
everything that we can and we just can't win. I think with accountability now, so it matters if you're caught cheating, I think that's the missing piece.
yeah. We have a quote actually in IT that we say always destroying something is more easier than making it, especially in games. Like you just try and fix it, or like in a website like ad blockers and stuff. It's always easier to work on the ad blocker than stopping them, because that's making, but the other side is just destroying it, finding a small hole and then go again.
100%. And any attack vector will be attacked. Like if
Yeah,
someone can attack something in a way, they will. They absolutely will. So yes, 100%.
yeah. What makes PlaySafe different from traditional anti-cheat solution or player report system?
100%. So we're not anti-cheat. We're not anti-cheat. We are 100% just accountability. So we work with game developers. They integrate us, and they actually pass us any detections that their internal models or their third-party anti-cheat that they've integrated detect. So these detections are made and they're sent to us. We actually have this really cool insight in players because we don't just see that one game account. We see all of the game accounts that you've connected. We see you over a longer period of time.
Yeah,
So that means we get to understand a little bit more about you in terms of what types of game you play, how often do you play, are you, caught using suspicious activity or stuff in multiple games. So we're able to build like a trust score on users. We also build a trust score on game developers. How good are they at reporting people? How much evidence do they send through? How accurate is it? How likely is it to be true? So we build these trust scores up, and then we look at the context of the information that's sent to us. If it's just this player was reported, we don't really care. It doesn't mean anything. But if it's easy anti cheat caught a logic based detection that memory was altered or packets were altered, and this is how it was altered, we can ingest that and we can, with a high level of confidence, make a decision about giving a ban or giving a penalty to that PlaySafe ID. Another point that's worth mentioning is a game developer might ban your game account. We might decide not to ban your PlaySafe ID. Other way around as well, we might decide that you've been caught cheating, and we might decide to ban the PlaySafe ID, and the game developer might not decide to ban the game account. We're completely independent of the game developers to make our own decision, but we're not doing the detection. There's billions of dollars that have been spent into building detection suites and detection models and anti-cheat and all of this great stuff. The bit that's never existed is basically this accountability portion,
yeah,
making it matter across games. So that's the very specific bit that we're looking to do.
yeah. Yeah, actually, we were talking about this with my community last night. That we were saying, yeah, you can make new account, but how many times can you use passport? Imagine you use your whole family verification and you make like 10 ID. What about next? We are not talking about real world that like you just work like a criminal. It's just a game. They don't have the motivation to go look for password every time. Account, yeah,
And the
makes
thing is,
sense.
it's not just the passport, right? So it's the passport and the face.
Yeah, yeah,
So we
yeah,
partner with Onfido, who are incredible, and they handle the verification, and they only notify us if it was successful. So we don't have to see any of the data. We don't have to store any of the data, documents, or biometrics, right? The really cool thing about this setup, though, is the verification is done on your mobile device on the Onfido SDK, and they're able to see basically, is it a real document? Is it a real person? And does the face of the person match the document? They change camera settings in tiny ways, screen brightness in tiny ways. They change all of this stuff to basically see, is it the live image that's coming through, or is there device injection or image injection or some kind of manipulation happening? This is how they're able to prevent against deep fakes and all of this kind of stuff. So you would have to steal the document, and you would have to have the actual person's face. It's not just, oh, can you send me? And you can't do it through uploading pictures. It has to be the live document. So you can't just like download documents online and use them, or it actually has to be a real legitimate document and actually the real legitimate person to match the two. So you could ask your mum to do it for sure, like, but over the next couple of years, especially if we end up growing throughout gaming and then we start to look at the social media side of things, there'll be more pressure on parents and older people who don't want to give this out as well. So
yeah,
but this is a huge topic in itself. I'll leave it there. I just wanted to provide some
yeah,
flavor for you.
yeah. Wonderful. Uh, how does the PlaySafe system technically detect cheaters or rule breakers? Sorry.
100%. So yeah, as I mentioned before, we're not doing the detection. We ingest detection from the game developer, and it doesn't go from. So it go okay. People think that it goes from anti-cheat to developer to us. It doesn't. Anti-cheat sends it to the developer and to us at the same time. So
Okay.
it's not getting filtered through the developer. So they don't get to choose kind of what we're seeing. We get all of the raw detection. So we're able to then make these decisions. But we don't make the detections. We make the decisions and hold people accountable.
This is really good. That will stop abusing, because some of the company there is admins that actually abuse, and for example they don't like some streamers, they just go ahead and ban them and put a label on as a
And
cheater.
equally, I believe that they protect some people who are cheating. Like some streamers and stuff who make
Yeah,
an awful lot
yeah.
of money. I think that they protect them, whereas they wouldn't be able to protect them in this circumstance. So, yes, it prevents abuse, but it also prevents favoritism.
Yeah, exactly. That is really good. What role does AI or automation play has in your platform?
I hate the word AI with a passion because most AI isn't. We have decision making algorithms from data pipelines to determine what action should be made. Nowadays, people would call that AI. It's not. It's just good old fashioned machine learning and algorithms. It's
Okay.
not AI. But yes, we have some very, very clever stuff to be able to ingest huge amounts of information in real time and then being able to model that, both for what our live algorithm is in terms of being able to determine what action, but as well as for us to be able to simulate variations of that model so we can start to see, what stuff, oh, if we made this change, how would that affect the number of bans? Would there be more? Would they be less? Would they be more severe? Would they be less severe? Would they, etc. So, yeah, so there's a lot of automation. There's a lot of algorithms. There's a lot of machine learning involved, but I wouldn't say that there's any AI buzzwordy
Okay.
crap.
Okay. Uh, you explained that question. Can a player be banned without ever being warned first?
Yes.
Okay. How does the KYC process work, and what data do you actually store? Like you said that everything is gonna be by Infido, and you don't actually store anything. So you just see us as a ID, or like, is there an actual information, like at least our names, last name, or like just ID?
Just a D. And an email address that you used to create your account.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's it. So the way the process works is you, submit an email when you create your account, and then you submit your date of birth, when you create account, because people have to be over 13, before, because of copper, and if they're under 13, they need a
yeah,
parental consent to be able to have an account, whatever. So you submit your email address and date of birth when you're creating the account. Once you've done that, the Onfido SDK is invoked. So there's a QR code. You scan it with your phone. It's on your phone. This is all handled by Onfido. So you, scan a picture of a document, you take a motion-based selfie, so you just turn your
yeah,
head side to side. It does some clever stuff, and basically it checks, is the document legit? Are you real? And does your face match the face in the document? If those things are true, they just notify us and they just go, yeah, good to go. And then we create the PlaySafe ID. So we are legally responsible for the data because we're the data controller, and Onfido are the data processor. So they're working on our behalf. But all of the biometrics, the documents, and the data used from the verification are on Fido's network and systems. As far as we're concerned, we just generate a random and anonymized PlaySafe ID, which is just a random series of numbers and letters. So it isn't directly tied to your document. And when game developers verify the status of your ID, they're verifying the status of these numbers and letters. They don't know it's you. We can't see that it's you. It's there's two steps of separation.
yeah. Wonderful. Uh, you If someone is falsely banned, what does the appeal process look like? How long does it typically take?
Okay, false positives. Um, I'll go into quite a bit of detail here if you don't mind,
Yeah,
because this is quite a
yeah,
big
yeah, yeah.
topic.
Actually,
First
this
of
is
all,
important because I want everyone to know actually how PlaySafe work, because I have a lot of hope in PlaySafe that actually it's something that bring the gaming industry to the top again. So go
thank you.
into
I
any
really
detail
appreciate that.
that you want.
So, first of all, false positives are not very common.
Yeah,
Most people who are caught in false positives aren't false positives. They just say it was a false positive. Like having insider knowledge and seen some of these systems and stuff now, most of the time a false positive isn't a false positive, but there are false positives. I'm not saying they don't happen. I'm just saying they're not as often as you'd
It's
expect,
less.
like
It's
from all
less.
the
They
noise.
just lie.
Yeah, 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 but they do still happen. Like there are people who are unfortunately caught. In regards to false positives, so like I said, we build this trust score on PlaySafe ID users, and we have a trust score for developers, which helps us make better decisions. So we might see, for example, there was a heuristic detection, which is a pattern detection model, okay? And it was from, let's say, Call of Duty, and you were caught moving faster than your character should be able to move, okay? Now you might get a penalty on that to your game account because it might detect you as speed hacking. But if we see that you've been a PlaySafe ID user for a long time, you're connected to lots of games, you've never been caught cheating. Speed hacking does happen in a Call of Duty, but it's very rare. Like it's not a
Yeah.
common thing. We can see the payload of information. It was only for a short period of time. Okay, our system would be like, maybe we'll put a flag on the account to be like, let's keep an eye on it just in case this happens again in the future on another account, then we can issue a penalty. But maybe this isn't strong enough it's not definitive enough to make a penalty today. So we have systems in place to try to even further reduce the amount of false positives that already happen within the industry. The next thing to bear in mind is severity of penalty. We have a proportionate ban system, okay? So if someone was caught, for example, let's say they were caught speed hacking in this way once and we gave them a pass, and then they were caught again a couple of weeks later, we might only give them a suspension for a week or two because it's edge casey. So we don't want to give them like a bad punishment, but we kind of want to give them a warning.
Yeah.
So like a week or two kind of as a suspension. Whereas if we we get a detection through that it's super clear and super obvious that someone was running aimbot or ESP or something like that and memory's been changed, they might just get a 6-month ban straight away for the first offense. So false positives will happen because no system is perfect, and I can't guarantee that there won't be a false positive. But what I can guarantee is that we've put every measure in place possible to, first of all, try to mitigate them so that there aren't many at all. And if they do happen, because they're the edge cases, they will be very light penalties. So it won't be like you're out of all games forever. Oh, this is the end of the world. It would just be an unfortunate case that you have a week or two to sit out as a warning. In terms of appeals process, at the moment, it's through the developer. So you would reach out to the game developer, and if you get your game ban overturned, we'll then overturn the PlaySafe ID ban, right?
Okay.
But we are building out our own proper appeals process separate from the game developer, where basically I don't want to go too much into how it works because A, we're still figuring it out, and B, I don't want to give away too much information
Yeah.
so it can be gamed. But we'll basically run a second version of our algorithm that's slightly more lenient, and we'll compare the results from the first and the second. And then there'll be a determination of, is this still in the edge case or is it actually just below the threshold, and then we can overturn it. But that will affect the trust score of the account. It's like we're still going to have the account flagged, so if they pick stuff up again in the future. So we've got lots of systems and lots of variables and data points to try to assess this. But false positives do happen in the world of gaming. They're a lot less common than it's made out to be. A lot of people are legitimately caught. They just cry false positive because they don't want to admit that they were caught cheating. But there are still people who are caught with false positives. We have a lot of systems in place to be able to see players and build this trust score and the trust score for developers. We see the context of the information to be able to make slightly smarter decisions, especially by seeing players across games and a broader spectrum of time. And if someone is caught with a false positive with our system, it's not a permaban. It will likely probably just be a week or two because the evidence would be so weak against it and it'd be so edge case. So it would suck, but it's not the end of the world. So
Yeah.
I think that covers the false positive topic.
Yeah. I have a question here. So you said that somebody when get flagged, they will get a 6-month ban. How does the leveling of the ban work? Like for example, I get caught completely. Like I was a raid cheater in Tarko. I was flying around, killing everyone, ruining everyone's gameplay experience. How does that work? Am I getting a punishment for like 6 months, or am I getting a like 10-year ban because I was like raid cheater?
It completely depends on the context. If it was rage cheating, and if it was rage cheating that was caught consistently over a period, then it could be in the years. for first offense. It could be like 3 years, 5 years. Could just be straight perma, because we do have permaban as an option, and we
Yeah.
do use permaban. We use permaban for anyone caught being sexual or grooming towards children. That's just a straight get the fuck out. So
Yeah.
anyone that's caught like egregiously cheating, it's a weapon in our arsenal. Now, when I started the company, I started it with a one strike life. Like, it was just, if you're caught once doing anything, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
We've since dialed it back, because that has a lot of problems, right? You have problems either way. It's either
Yeah.
you go more gentle and then you have problems because it's not harsh enough, or you go one strike and you're out, and then you have problems. There's lots of problems with that. So we decided to have this proportionate. So I'm not a fan of just straight perma banning unless it was someone that was caught with a DMA, using direct memory access. So they had a second tower set
Yeah.
up to be able to run to make themselves undetectable. And they were running egregious cheats. And if they were caught in like an esports tournament with their PlaySafe ID
Yeah.
cheating, where there's real money involved and stuff like that, they're the kind of level where I'm leaning more towards like straight 10-year bans. It's just like,
Yeah.
you're a piece of shit. You knew what you were doing. Get the fuck out.
Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense.
But there's a lot of normal people who cheat for lots of reasons, either out of frustration or because everyone else cheats, who cares, or whatever. And we wanted to make sure that there was something for rehabilitation, for people to recognize that, oh, okay, this behavior was wrong. I had a really bad time not being able to play in PlaySafe Protected. I want to play legitimately from now on with it. So that's why we're not just going straight to perma when we catch people, because there's lots of people who will have, imagine if you we say that 3 months or 6 months isn't very long. Imagine if you couldn't play with your mates in PlaySafe Protected at 6 months, half a year that they're all playing and having fun, and you can't play with them across any game. That would feel like an eternity. So
Yeah.
6 months, it's
It
quite a
may
long time.
it make you sit and think, yeah, I was doing a wrong thing and it's time to actually play legit and enjoy in a legitimate
Hey mate, do you
way.
want to come and play with us tonight? Oh, you can't.
Yeah. Uh, how do you make sure PlaySafe doesn't become overly punitive or missed as a power tool?
I stay CEO, and I'd never sell it to if I was to sell the company, I would never sell it to somebody that has any kind of track record of bad influence, basically. So I could never sell it to a games company. It would have to be to like an external, maybe like a Unity, or um not Epic, because they've got Fortnite. I don't know. But basically, it comes down to the moral compass of the leadership of the company, and making sure that we're fundamentally gamers first, and every decision that we make is for gamers. It's not for games companies.
Yeah.
Games companies will benefit from having happier players. That's great. But I'm not doing this for games companies. I'm doing this for players. Every decision that we make has to be, does this respect players? Does it respect their privacy? Does it respect their trust in us? Will it enhance their experience? Like, will this very simply make their game more fair, more fun, or more safe? If it does all three of those things and it doesn't infringe on their rights or compromise our trust, or players' trust in us, then it's stuff that we can talk about. If it's anything that ever goes to disrupt the trust between us and the player base, it's just an absolute straight no. So no tracking, no ad tech, no ads, no fingerprinting. Fingerprinting's the technique of basically trying to piece information
Yeah.
about a user to follow them around. None of that. Very simply, you'll have the pseudo-anonymous PlaySafe ID. You connect that to games and services, and we verify your status. That's the one thing that we are trying to solve, and the one thing that we're trying to fix. That was a bit of waffle. I hope that was helpful. I don't know if it was helpful, but
Yeah. Thank you. Uh, let's talk a little bit more about underage. How is PlaySafe protecting underage player from grooming, harassment, or exploitations?
100%. So in the same way that cheating detections are passed to us, so are chat logs regarding any detections to inappropriate behavior to under 18s. So we know the age of users because you submitted your date of
Yeah.
birth, and then that's verified as part of the verification. So we're in this position that, okay, the legislation and the laws around child grooming and inappropriate behavior to children are very clear. Somebody has to be over age, okay? They have to know the other person is underage. They have to be communicating in a way that is deemed sexual for their own sexual gratification. And there's varying degrees of this. So it doesn't have to be getting a child to perform a sexual act, just communicating with the child in a sexual way is offense in itself. And there's different tiers to this in terms of level of offense and punishment associated with whatever. The point of me saying all of this is it can't happen by accident.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very clear it cannot happen by accident. You cannot accidentally do this. Okay. In the same
Yeah.
way you can't trip and fall and accidentally have aimbot on your PC. Clara, it's you have cheated, you know you've been cheated, you're sad you've been caught. It's the same thing with sexual behavior towards children. You can't accidentally do it. It's very, very, very clear. So with that in mind, we get sent that stat trace again from the developer. And then we're able to very clearly, because again, it's the rules are so clear. There's no is it, isn't it? It is just it
Yeah.
is or it isn't. So then we're very confident and very easy to be able to permaban that PlaySafe ID and just go, you were very clearly being sexual to a child for your own sexual gratification. You knew that they were underage. Goodbye forever. You will never be able to contact another child again who has a PlaySafe ID. And that's how we're looking to protect them, right?
Yeah.
Is by getting the pedos out, right?
Yeah.
Getting the predators out. If you're caught doing this once, you're out forever. So my hope and my dream is that one day every single child will have a PlaySafe ID and every single pedo and predator is kicked out. And then think of it as a playground, right? Like it's a digital playground. We would never have a physical playground and allow
Yeah.
predators and stuff to just keep coming in and talking to the kids. That's what we're trying to do with PlaySafe ID. Is we're trying to make it like we're trying to make these walls to make sure the predators can't just keep coming in.
Yeah. Wonderful. Like, but there is mostly harassment between players or like trolling each other's in
For
gaming
sure.
lobbies. Everybody have that. There is a question here. For example, we are playing in a CS:GO lobby, and somebody start saying, "Oh, you are so noob," but he has no clue. Does this guy is underage or no?
That is a problem for the game developer.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's to the point of the Online Safety Act is the point of, okay, up to date, game developers and anyone that makes any service online, they're not responsible for harmful content on their platform,
Yeah.
basically, okay, or protecting children from harmful content. The Online Safety Act in the UK, the reason that this is such a big deal is because it's making it a legal requirement for the first time ever that it is the game studio's responsibility to make sure children are protected from harmful content. So up until now, you could put a 13-year-old in a game and you could put a 25-year-old in a game and they could say and do whatever they want with each other, and who gives a shit, right? That's the way it is today. The Online Safety Act is going, you have to, for all users in the UK that access your game, you have to age verify them first. So now you know that this kid's 13 and you know this kid's 25, and then you can go, okay, well, direct messaging, group messaging, and voice chat are the high risk functionalities. So let's not give the 13-year-old access to voice chat, and let's put a profanity filter on that can't be turned off for the 13-year-old, so they can still communicate, but they can't see the bad words. Now
Yeah.
that child can still play the game, but they're protected from the harmful content. That's the purpose of the Online Safety Act and how that works. And that's why I kind of sidestepped your question a second ago, and I said it's the point of
Yeah.
the developers is the Online Safety Act is now making it a legal responsibility that developers have to protect children, to your point. But it's not our job to police speech or toxicity or any of this kind of stuff. We draw the line where the law is concerned,
Yeah.
right? So grooming, inappropriate behavior to children, stuff like that, I'm happy to take a stance on it because I think we all as people agree children are they're
Yeah.
should not. That's a
Yeah.
no-go. That's nobody thinks that that's
That's a
okay.
red line.
Exactly. There's nobody going, maybe it's okay. Like everybody
No.
goes, that's not okay. So I'm happy to take a stance on that. I'm starting to think more about legitimate rape threats and legitimate death threats as a punishable offense against a PlaySafe ID? Because again, I think that we all kind of agree that saying if there's a girl gamer that's joined a game and people turn around, they're like, I'm going to come to your house and rape you to death. I think we can all kind of agree that that's not okay.
Yeah, and also some people's. It happened to me most of the time that I killed people in Tarko. Like it was a PvP, it was fun. I came back to my lobby and they add me, and I'm like, maybe he wants to say something. I accept, and he just says, "Go kill yourself, go touch some grass," and it's maybe I don't care at the moment, but it just ruined my experience, bro. It's just a game. Why you take it so serious about me?
100%. And the thing is toxicity, I think that there is a large subsection of the gaming community that views toxicity as a cultural part of the experience. I don't know whether that's right or wrong. I don't really care. I'm not here to argue the toss on that. But what I do think is if someone wants to turn around and say, fuck you killed me, fuck you, fine, whatever, right? Who really cares? But at the point where it's like, oh, I'm going to figure out your IP address, find out where you live, come to your house and kill you, that's then past the
Yeah,
line. And the
that's a
same way
different.
kids are past the line, that's then past the line. So I don't want to get into policing speech and that kind of stuff. It's not my objective. I don't care for it. I think everyone should be able to say what they want, except for grooming kids, being sexual to kids, legitimate rape threats, legitimate death threats.
Yeah,
I think that there is a hard line that we can kind of all agree you shouldn't.
yeah,
If you wouldn't
exactly.
say that to someone in a supermarket, like let's say I walked up to you in a supermarket, you wouldn't say that to my face. Even if I bumped into you, you wouldn't say that to my face. So why is it okay to say it so freely online? But this is a whole other topic for a whole other time.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, we talked about this one also. Uh, let's go to the partnership and developer adoption. It's my favorite topic. Have you established official partnership with any game studio yet? And can you share which ones?
3, no.
Okay.
We're under embargo, which basically means that there is an official date that we're allowed to talk about these things. I made a mistake in my career many years ago where I jumped the gun on a big partnership for a previous company that I worked at. And I started talking about it. And they turned around and said, you started talking about it before you're supposed to. We don't trust you anymore. Fuck off.
Oh, okay. Makes
I'm
sense.
not doing that ever again. I made that mistake once a long time ago. This is too important. These are serious games that are very well loved throughout most mid-core and hardcore gamers. I'm very, very, very excited for these. I can't wait to talk about them,
Oh,
and I want to talk about them.
okay.
But
I have
but if
some
I
hints.
do,
Where is it?
but if I do, and the deals blow up, then we're left with nothing, and we haven't helped anyone. We haven't helped the game. We haven't helped the players, and I'm on the hook looking like a dickhead. So
Yeah.
it's not worth the risk. So you have to wait, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, this the second question. Have you had discussion with Battlestate Games about implementing PlaySafe in Escape from Tarkov or Escape from Tarkov Arena?
No comment. I'm not gonna comment.
Okay.
It's not a yes. It's not a no. It's a complete no comment. I don't know.
Right. How difficult is it for the developer to integrate PlaySafe into their game?
Absolute doddle. It's super easy. So I've worked in complex systems used by the games industry for years. One of them was an ad tech related and behavioral analytics product. Another one was a game economy simulation and balancing platform. Now, one of the problems with building these products out is they're built in, the integrating through an SDK, okay, a software development kit. And these are, first of all, not very easy things to integrate. And they're also constantly updated and the versioning changes. And anytime that, because they're not just integrating your
Yeah.
SDK, they're integrating loads of SDKs. And one version change in one SDK might break all of them. It might break the whole game. It could fuck the whole thing.
Yeah.
So integrating stuff into games or just systems in general might sound really easy and simple, but it's always a ball ache and it always comes with tech debt. So with that experience in mind, we opted to not even have an SDK. We have two endpoints. that a game developer can integrate, and that's it. One is a call with our API key for get valid ID, and we say it's active or it's anything else. If it's active, they can play. If it's anything else, don't. Very simple. The second is post violation or offense. So if they catch someone being inappropriate to kids, they catch someone cheating, anything like that, they pass whatever that stat trace is to us through that endpoint. That's it. It's two endpoint integration, takes a couple of hours. It's very, very, very light. There's no difficulty to integrate this at all by design.
Yeah, wonderful. Let's talk about a future vision of PlaySafe.
For sure.
What does success looks like for PlaySafe in next 1 2 years? We talk about it, but that was overall. What do you think the PlaySafe will be in 2 years?
It's a hard question to answer because the economy of scale of the gaming industry is wild, right? Like, I'm happy to say we're not currently talking to Activision Blizzard. They're someone we've never reached out to. They're someone we've never spoken to, right? I just want to make that clear. So when I make this
Yeah,
example, people aren't going, oh, are they going to work with Call of Duty? Yeah. I would love to, but we're just not talking to them yet. And if we ended up working with Call of Duty or Roblox or one of these big games, right? That could be tens of millions of users. So
yeah,
success for me, I don't know what success looks like. Is it a couple of small games and a couple of medium games and it's actually 5 million users? Is it 50 million users, 100 million users, 2 million? I have absolutely no idea. How many games are we going to have integrate? I have absolutely no idea. My hope is that with these first flagship integrations that we're doing, that other games watch us very closely and they're like, oh, this works really well. Players are really happy. The studio's making loads of money because their players are happier. Let's integrate this as well. And then they integrate it, and then everyone sees us growing, and then it very quickly becomes an industry standard. But I don't actually know how long that's going to take. I don't know whether it could be a massive snowball that could happen in 6 months, right? From our first
yeah,
integration, everybody might come to us and say, let's integrate. And then in 6 months, we're everywhere. Or
yeah,
in 2 years, we might only have 10 integrations. And those 10 integrations might be mid-sized games, or they could be the biggest games in the world. I have no idea. So I would like, wave a magic wand, within the next 2 years, I would like us to be an industry standard. I would like most players of competitive games or games with a multiplayer competitive element, particularly in first-person shooters, but also MMORPGs and ARPGs. I would like to be an industry standard. I'd like to have millions or tens of millions of users. I think that would be really cool. I don't want this to take 30 years for me to solve this problem. I would really like to get it right and help solve this problem as quickly as possible. So
yeah,
I can't give you an exact number of what I'm aiming for because I have no idea. But
yeah. Uh, we talked about this, but I'm gonna ask you again. Could PlaySafe ID eventually be used for esport tournaments or ranked system to valid fair competition? Like you talked about the trust score. If you can explain us a little bit about the trust scores, also.
the trust score is more of an internal thing for us to make decisions about issuing penalties. It's not something that we will ever surface, so people won't be able to see other people's trust scores. It's just for us to be able to make decisions on penalties that are raised. So that's the first bit. I'm trying to think how to answer the esports bit. There is yes is the short answer. There is a game with a big ranked slash competitive slash esports element that has started talking to us because they have some stuff in the future and they would like to make sure that that is fair and free of cheaters. So yes, I think
Yeah,
that esports will be very happy to have us. And I think that regular players that play competitive or ranked, especially outside of like esports and tournaments, just regular competitive play, will also be very grateful to know that their time isn't being wasted and they're not playing with dickheads.
yeah, 100%. Uh, there is a question here that I'm gonna change it a little bit.
Go for it.
Is it planned to like make PlaySafe like a passport for gaming industry? So in one day we may have like a ranking also in the PlaySafe as a trust score. For example, this gamer never had any issue in any game in gaming industry, and that work actually as a passport for joining any tournament or any games.
I don't know. It's something that a couple of people have asked me, and I've had a question. I've had the conversation with them. Other people have tried to do similar things to that in the past, and it's just never taken off because I don't actually think it'd be that useful. I don't think players really care about like having like a sum total player rank or like porting their rank between games and stuff like that. I don't really think they care. Is my assumption, because otherwise one of these solutions that's tried to do this before would have succeeded and it would have found a market and it would have established itself. So there's been enough people who have tried to do kind of like a gamer passport or like a tracking passport or like your stats and your rank and stuff like that. But none of them have ever stuck. So I don't think there's a market for it. Would it be a nice to have on top of what we're doing? Maybe we might add it in, but that's not what we're trying to be. We're not trying to be a competitive rank tracker. We're not, we're just trying to be, if you're caught cheating, you face a penalty across all PlaySafe protected games, and you can't come back in until your penalty's served. So it actually matters if you're cheating, and don't groom kids. Like that's my mission. It isn't to kind of be the upper echelon of esports. I think there's a lot of luxury or prestige that comes with that, and it's easy to get excited by it. But I want to solve the underlying core fundamental problem that faces gamers, which is cheaters ruin their time all the time.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm not sold on the idea, but it's not a
yeah,
no either. So
yeah. But the thing is, I wasn't like focusing on the competition in the ranking. Like, for example, somebody is ad friending me from a match. I'm gonna click on the profile on the PlaySafe ID, and I see a score. Like it's green, it's yellow. So in
so
this
that's
way,
something that we're considering doing. So we're thinking of having like 3 different types of pick or 3 different types of shield. One that shows that they've never had a penalty ever. One that shows that they've had a penalty before, but they don't currently have a penalty. And one that shows that they currently have an active penalty. So you at a glance can see this is a perfect account that's never had a problem versus this is an account that they don't have a problem today, but kind of like a VAC ban, like
yeah,
they had a problem previously, versus they're currently banned, and you can just see that.
yeah,
So it wouldn't be necessarily like a whole profile and like stat tracking, but it would we're considering adding this as a visual indication for you to kind of at a glance be able to
yeah,
tell what's up.
yeah. That's really nice. All right, that that was all the questions. Thank you very much again for taking your time and doing this. Hopefully, everyone will see that. I'll put the Discord and also the website of the PlaySafe in the description, and hopefully people come and help grow this PlaySafe fast as possible and enjoy playing with legit people. Like it's a dream, but it can be true.
100%. Like, first of all, thank you for offering to do this, and and inviting me to have a chat. I enjoy chatting with you; it's good fun. But you ask really
Thank
good
you very much.
questions. If yeah, the most important thing for me today is ahead of these integrations and these partnerships going live, is basically just having as many people register their interest as possible with us. So I'll send you a link if you could include that. It's to the page where people can register their interest.
100%.
All you have to do is literally just submit an email and tick any boxes for any games you want us to integrate with. And that vote really helps us. Not just for today, but for the future as we end up speaking to some of these like really, really big games. If you voted for Apex, if you voted for Call of Duty or whatever, we can compile your vote with the thousands and tens of thousands of other votes that we've had. And we can have a real strong case when we speak to Respawn, when we speak to Activision, when we speak to whoever and go, look, we've got 10, 15,000 players that want to play your game in this way already.
Yeah,
Let's do that integration. So any support from anyone that watches this, just if anything, it'd be great if you could register your interest. It will really help us a lot. So
Yeah,
no,
100%.
thank you very much. Thank you to everyone.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you.